What up, everybody? This is Stuart Knight, author of the books Marginalizing White Supremacy, Poetic Visions, A Steep Mister for a Sister, and my latest work, A Spirit the World Has Forgotten. And today I want to say one thing. I've been slipping. Even a person like myself who has a true and clear understanding of white supremacy sometimes doesn't want to believe in the dubious actions that some white supremacists will engage in just to try to bolster their whiteness. Case in point, I've had a couple of jobs in my life. You know, I'm a heavy equipment operator, as has been said in my book, Marginalizing White Supremacy. And once I engage in doing my job to the excellent standards that I want to uphold, that tends to make the white males on the job very perturbed. Because, you see, they have this perception that, you know, because of my black skin, I am incapable due to their own intrinsic white supremacist values. Now, I must say that when it comes down to white supremacy and white people, the ones who practice white supremacy the most, to the most virulent of positions, are the poor white supremacists. You see, the rich white supremacists, they have their money to cover, you know, to help bolster their identity, you know, and that's bad in and of itself. But when it comes to a poor white supremacist, all they have is whiteness. So when they come across the contradiction of a black man, especially a black man, who does not live up to, for lack of use of better words, who doesn't live up to their ideal of how incapable a black man is, they become very passive-aggressive. Like, I had a job one time, and, you know, I started having problems with my car. And I was like, so all of a sudden, because I usually take care of my vehicles, and so I got the problem fixed. And then, you know, I went back to work. A couple of days later, the same problem happened again, just out of nowhere. And I realized, you know, that one, I had put the same kind or the same looking key ignition back in, so it made me look like something had gone wrong, and I kept my doors unlocked on the job. Once I put in a different key ignition, a different colored key ignition, and started locking my doors, then things stopped, you know, happening in a sense. That maybe, you know, that might have been a case of, you know, I had to use heat in my car, you know, because there was water in the gasoline. Well, fast forward some years later, I'm still in the same business, and once again, I'm having the same problems with my vehicle. And on top of that, you know, one time, you know, at the job where I'm currently at, I was pulling away from the lineup, and I had to go back and do something. And a couple of my co-workers were acting as if they had to come back and watch their vehicles out of fear that I was going to do something to the vehicles, to their vehicles. So, like I said, me being not really fully, it's hard to say, but not hard to say, but hard to find the right words. I'm being fully aware, but not being fully, you know, fully idealistic when it comes to how white people practice white supremacy, and believing that all of them are capable of the same things. I find myself slipping and not getting, you know, not having a locked-in gas cap once I see that these white people on my job have a problem with the black man showing a certain standard of excellence. You know, and maybe that's because I truly don't want to believe fully, or I still want to have faith in humanity in a sense, or I want to be like most black people who can't come to grips or get a good grasp on white supremacy, is believing that all white people practice racism, white supremacy. But I'm gonna have to change that. I'm really gonna have to change that, because you know, when you're a black person in this society, you have to always be on guard. You have to always be on defense. You can't be slipping, because it could cost you too much. You know, for those people, for those white people that you may come across that are not practicing white supremacy, you know, they may have to accept, you know, you as being a black person and protecting yourself, that you're going to view them the same way you would view those who are practicing white supremacy, just for simple self-protection. You know, so black people out there, you know, if you're things are sudden, if you're working at a job with poor white folks and you display a standard of excellence and skill in doing your job, always be on the lookout for potentially being taken out. Not necessarily physically, but as far as your ability to get to work, or your ability to earn the pay, and sometimes physically, to earn the pay that you're getting for doing the job at hand. Keep yourself on guard, because believe me, you know, when a poor white person wants to practice white supremacy simply because all they have is whiteness, to make them feel as if they are not necessarily superior, but to make them feel as if they are a part of the wealthy white supremacist structure, if you will, for lack of better words. They would do anything to you as a black person, black man specifically, to make sure that they can keep that. So keep yourself on guard, and I'm gonna have to do the same sometimes. Once again, this is Stuart Knight, author of the books Marginalizing White Supremacy, Poetic Visions, A Steep Mister for a Sister, and my latest work, A Spirit the World Has Forgotten. Thank you very much. Peace.